everyone, welcome to a new episode of Crafting with Cosplay Fabrics. My name is Indra and today I'm going to show you how to make a wrist pin cushion. This is awesome if you're working with any projects that you need straight pins, especially if you are crafting in front of maybe your dress form or something kind of like that, and that way you don't have to resort to constantly be pulling straight pins out of their little box. Plus, this keeps you from either putting them in your mouth or having to constantly be putting them around your dress form, because I know I do that. So it's super convenient and you can personalize it however you want to. So let's get to it. Alright, so here are all the materials that we are going to be using for this particular tutorial. First of all, I want to show you the fabric that I'm going to be using. And this one is the Shibori watercolor foil from the JoAnn collection. And this one is just a really cool pink and light blue. And I really like the color, but I also really like that it's very tightly knit. And the reason why that's important is because if I'm going to be using my straight pins and keeping my pins, I really do want the fabric to sustain the constant poking. So I recommend using a stretch or a cotton or any sort of fabric that doesn't have any threading on the top like brocades do, or any sort of texture that could potentially catch on the little pins. So I'm going to be using that. I'm also going to be using elastic, and obviously you can choose whatever thickness that you want to, and I've already gone ahead and cut it to an approximate size of my wrist, just leaving a little bit of extra slack, and I just cut it without like stretching it. I don't need it to be like super tight. So I'm also going to be using tape. But I'm using this particular tape just because of the shape. I'm just using it as a template, just so that I can basically put it on my fabric, trace it out, and have the shape. However, you can choose any shape that you want to. It doesn't have to be circular, but that's what I'm going to be doing for this tutorial. We're also going to be using a marking tool or a marker. Obviously, our straight pins, scissors, thread, and then you can use embroidery thread or crochet threading or anything kind of like that. Obviously, thread a needle or your sewing machine, some pillow stuffing, and of course our iron if you would like to press this. Okay, so as I mentioned before, the first thing that I'm going to do is to use the tape to mark the shape that I want. So I've already gone ahead and done that, and basically what I did is just put it on the edge of my fabric, traced it out with the pen, and just cut it out, as you can see. So I'm gonna go ahead and put both faces together, and then I'm gonna just sew all the way around, but I'm gonna leave a little gap so that I can then put all the stuffing in and continue. Okay, and here is my piece that is sewn. Don't worry if it's not perfect. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and cut some little notches all the way around. And then I'm going to flip the fabric over and put some stuffing inside of it. And what you definitely want to do is try to really make the stuffing as tough as possible. And what I mean by that is that you definitely don't want it to be too fluffy, because you don't want your straight pins to go all the way through. You definitely want to avoid poking yourself. So definitely put as much pillow stuffing in as you can, and then closing that extra edge up. So gonna add some stuffing and then gonna stitch that up. Ahead and put all the stuffing in until it's like not super fluffy and squishy, but like a little tough. and I've gone ahead and closed up that stitch. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is really just meant as a tool to help you. So next step is going to be using the floss or embroidery thread, and remember to use a needle that actually fits the thread. You can also use just regular thread for this step. So I'm going to be kind of eyeballing the center of this and poking all the way through. And then I'm going to go on middle again. And I'm going to tighten that. See, so it kind of creates that little shape. And I'm going to do that across and here, and then add other ones if I see fit. Alrighty, and once I'm done with this part, then I actually went ahead and did some extra stitches in the middle just because I wanted a little more of an indent in the center. You don't have to do that. You can also add some decoration on top if you want to, like you can put a button, maybe a little flower or whatever you want to, or you can just leave it like that too. So the last step is going to be to attach the elastic, and basically it's just running some stitches across here and making sure that you're only grabbing this part of the fabric and not going all the way through, and then of course doing the same thing on the other side, and then you can flip it over like so, and it should fit you. And yeah, and there it is. I went ahead and attached my elastic, and I actually found a random button that I had that was really sparkly, and I think it looks really cute. Again, this is completely optional, but now you can just put it around your wrist and tighten it if you need to, and then you can just use it to keep all of your pins in place, and it's super convenient and very useful and cute. Ta-da! And there you have it. I hope that you like this as much as I do. This was super fun to make, and I can't wait to see what it is that you make. As always, if you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. I hope that you like and subscribe, and I will see you next week for another tip, trick, or tutorial featuring Cosplay Fabrics. See ya!